They're like, you brat! And he starts a little, and the guy thinks he's got Vegeta. He does not. If you're a wrestling fan, you remember Shane McMahon. Often when he fought the Big Show, he would do the whole promo. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did he go? And Vegeta teleports right behind him, and then boom! Center of the face. Oh man! And that guy right there is gone. There is no other way to say you are defeated than that. Legs can't even be out straight. Leg all bent in under the other leg. That guy is gone. He gives his back up to Vegeta, and Vegeta still doesn't care. And then we get this devious look from him. And then he shoots his ki blast here right to Vegeta. Now, if we're going base purely off of the lore that was created in the previous episode, these things are devastating because they beat Vegeta. And these things completely overwhelmed our heroes until Goku finally had enough and just went SS1 and blew them all to Kingdom Kong. So if we're going to align with where the last episode picks up, these guys should be a threat, right? And Vegeta does not care, because personally I think this is how Vegeta should have looked at all the jabronis that were shooting these type of beams. And so Vegeta just dodges easily as it goes right past his ear, and he's like, oh, and then he smiles like, okay, kid got something, and then he ends up having a tracking on it where it comes right back to Vegeta, starts coming in really quickly. Vegeta once again leaving his back, giving his back up to this guy's attack, not showing any respect at all, and the guy thinks he's gonna get it. He thinks he's got him, and then boom, you see the speed lines right there. Vegeta teleports right in front of him. He's like, oh, and then Vegeta basically face to face, and then teleports out of the way, and boom! He lets that guy get hit with his own blast, and they're like, you brat! And this guy just starts, I think he jumps up in the air, and he starts a little, and boom, boom, boom. Once again, in the last previous episodes, as we saw, these were giving Vegeta and Goku all types of things. They had to go 18 minutes, even in base form, and the guy thinks he's got Vegeta, and no, he does not. Vegeta is nowhere to be found. He's like, he's like, once again, if you're a wrestling fan, you remember Shane McMahon. Often when he fought the Big Show, he would do the whole promo. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did he go? And that's basically what he's like. Which way did he go? And Vegeta teleports right behind him, and then goes in for the close-up. Boom! Man, I don't even think this guy's gonna have a nose after this. And I don't know, did he have a nose? Boom! Right in the just center of the face. Oh man, and that guy right there is gone, knocked out, KO. And it's not even enough to just land on your back. In wrestling, I think they call this overselling or whatever, to really make the impact most. So if this guy was selling, boom, he starts jumping up, and then goes ahead and lands on the back, and then boom, look at that. There is no other way to say you are defeated than that. Legs can't even be out straight. Leg all bent in under the other leg. That guy is gone. And look at Vegeta. They do a zoom out right here, and then the other guy gonna try to go up and try to stop something up to Vegeta. So he's got his dagger. He's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna take my knife. If our guns don't work, then a knife will weed. What's that saying that great WWE Hall of Fame legend, rest in peace, Roddy Piper said? He says, you do not bring a knife to a fight when the opponent is carrying a machine gun, something like that. So yeah, this guy's logic is, okay, if our machine guns aren't going to work, then I'll just tuck out a knife and take them out, because that seems like the most logical thing to do. All right, so the guy does some fancy work with his knife, and he's ready to go in for the kill, and then he actually takes out a gun. So he's making sure he's got extra backup. He's got a gun and he's got a knife, gonna stab and shoot Vegeta up. And I mean, he's got a pretty cool pose there. You think he's on to something, and he points the gun right over to Vegeta, and Vegeta right here, my man Vegeta, just basically doing his best Kane impression when he would always take the glove and all that stuff like that. So he basically adjusts his gun, his glove, and then right there he points his head right at this Zandamari guy, and then forms a little quick ki blast, and boom, right in the gut, spam, explosion, sends that guy right out of the frame, and that's all she wrote. It is all over, just like that. And the way they did this was super fast. Easily you can see it nicely here when I've got it paused frame by frame, but man, that was so quick. I was cracking up when I was watching this, man. And so basically right here you got this Zonda Marie guy. He is completely scared because I think there's only 2 of them left right now. The guys are, oh, they're sweating, and look at that. I mean, look at the damage. As Jim Ross would say in WWE, look at the carnage. My God, bodies everywhere. And so we got these 2 guys, and Vegeta's like, he's like, what else you guys want? Come on, come on. Vegeta just not playing with these guys, and they're like blasted. And so the big guy here, he ends up saying, maybe they are the ones that defeated Majin Buu and the Tamagamis, which see, this goes back to what I was saying when these guys were first introduced, is how are we supposed to take them serious as a threat? Because if they're sweating bullets over Majin Buu and Tamagamis being defeated, then that already puts them right down really low on the totem pole, basically. Like, how are you going to take them serious? And I guess Toriyama introduced them not to be taken serious, but as much as these guys are a tribute to the Ginyu Force, they're also the opposite of what the Ginyu Force was. If you go back to Dragon Ball Z in the Frieza saga, when the Ginyu Force are introduced, it's a big freaking deal, because we knew the Doria and Zarbon were the top of the top. They were the two right-hand guys, or right or left guys, or whatever, of Frieza, aka Frieza. And it's from there, Vegeta even struggled to beat Zarbon. But when the Ginyu Force are introduced, Vegeta starts sweating bullets, and he's like, all right, crap. He says, fine, go on, Krillin, we need to fight. We need to team up together. And so it's established right in the story that these Ginyu Force guys are serious business. The fact that Vegeta is sweating bullets and he wants to rather team up with his enemies than to have to fight these guys 1-on-5 or even 1-on-1 at all. So that was made very clear. And when these guys were introduced in story about fearing that these guys are that we got to go against the people that fight Majin Buu and Tamagamis, of course it wouldn't make sense, because then why would he not just send these guys after the Tamagamis? So it just, once again, to the incompetence. Like I said, Gomah's got to be one of the stupidest villains. He's designed to be that way, but just stupid bringing in these guys, and they're great comedy relief. What I will say is good, though, 3 of them are out, 2 left to go. At least they're not taking up the entire episode with this like they did the jabronis in the previous episode. The captain here, he goes like, it looks like it's finally my turn, and he starts doing his best Trunks impression as he goes ahead and takes whatever this pole or whatever thing he is. He's gonna try to whack Vegeta upside the head, and Vegeta once again giving him no respect, basically letting his guard fully down. I mean, obviously Vegeta's on guard, but he just doesn't have to do much to prepare. And this guy easily finds out. Vegeta teleports, and that thing comes crashing down, and boom, does a real big number on the ground. And that's all it's going to be doing, is a number on the ground, not the Saiyajin Prince Vegeta. And so Vegeta teleports into the sky, and then he's looking down at this guy while this guy is still holding the pole. So dude is too slow right here, and he flies right off to go to Vegeta, and then boom, Vegeta blocks his stuff. And then right there he's like, okay, and then he boom tries to whack Vegeta on the side of the face, and Vegeta blocks his stuff. And then Vegeta's dodging, boom, wow, blocking that, and then boom, kicking that out the way. Like Vegeta just no respect at all, just stopping, boom, with his hand, just so that this guy can understand the power difference here. And Vegeta goes in, looks like he's about to hit with the kill, going in with the big giant punch, and no, he fades the punch, and boom, gives that guy, they call that in pro wrestling the big boot, gives him the big boot to the face, saying, eat all of my dirt I've been stepping in this demon world. This is your demon world dirt, you eat that. And then this guy is like, oh, what's so funny too is this guy already has like warrior paint on his face, basically, and so it looks like that's just the imprint of Vegeta's boot, but it's not. So this guy is getting dealt with. He's the captain, goes all the way down to the ground, boom, and you're thinking this guy's done, and he gets right up, and what's he do? He counters like, you're the captain, he's scared, he is scared from Vegeta. And he gets up, and look at that boy is standing up, he all stiff, like shaking, scared, in fear. And then he goes like, in that case, he said, it's time to use that attack. And so out of nowhere, these guys recover. I couldn't have been the only one to notice. Like, these guys were just not in this frame. These guys were knocked out. And the next frame, they're like, yeah, use that attack. Like, okay, that's some quick recovery right there, and stuff like that. So the guy's flexing, the captain's flexing, and he's about to unleash his attack. And I'll be honest, this is a pretty cool looking attack. Reminds me of the supernova that Kula used when he fought Son Goku back in movie, what was that? Movie 5? I think he even used it in movie 6 as well. So that was pretty cool. And so then he starts forming this really cool, and the visual effects were really good here. And like, hey, this is like, it's going to be a really cool attack on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Though after seeing these guys, I don't know if we really need to waste time putting these guys into Sparking Zero. There's so many other characters. Like, I mean, once you've got all the main characters as downloadable content, then you can start just adding, I think, the characters that nobody really is going to care about. It's a cool technique, but they'll probably put them in here because we got that Dragon Ball DAIMA, the Dragon Ball DAIMA DLC pack coming out for there. So he starts unleashing this cool, really fire looking blast and everything, and it goes right to Vegeta, and right there it's about to blow up, and boom, Vegeta is completely engulfed into an inferno. So this is the most powerful attack of the Zandamari guy. So going back to that previous episode, all those weak stuff did a number on base form Vegeta. But here, these fire stuff, and granted, I guess Vegeta got a Zenkai boost, right? Because that's what happens with the Saiyajins. They get Zenkai boost after near fatal injuries. So Vegeta's basically just in this flame, and it does nothing. Really reminds me, if you go back to Dragon Ball Z, there's a really cool scene and where him and Trunks, Vegeta and Trunks, are training in the Room of Spirit and Time, aka the hyperbolic time chamber, and there's this awesome visual of Vegeta like breathing the fire out of his mouth, his nose, his eyes, his ears, and then he just unleashes, and the fire just engulfs, comes out of all his eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. Just really cool visual. That's kind of what this reminded me of. And so Vegeta looks and is like, oh, okay, maybe Vegeta got a little bit of respect here, because he didn't expect that, and he's like, there's an even bigger one coming, and so he starts forming this big giant blast, and it's like, okay, the captain's pulling out all the stops now, and he even got a little respect on Vegeta. Vegeta's like, oh, and everything. So it's about to come, and it's about to get ready for Vegeta, and so this guy right here, he goes like, take this, and he basically, and I didn't understand it the first time, but I was now being able to get it frame by frame here. So what happens is this guy right here takes his machine gun and he lifts it up and hits his captain right there on the hand in the middle of him charging his ultimate attack. And as a result, this causes him to lose grip of his attack, his machine gun, as it goes down, and the the big giant fire ball here ends up going off prematurely and blows up halfway long before it can even arrive to Vegeta. And so here, he's like, oh, and I don't know if he's like, oh, and what happened, or if he's like, oh, well, I guess that's what it is. He's like, oh, my attack, and he's like, ah, my hand, and that thing is pulsing, and it's pink, and that's because the whole incompetence from his from his guy. He's like, oh, like he knew he effed up here at this point, and all that stuff, and Vegeta is like, ridiculous. And he's like, ow, 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 ow. So he's doing the dancing, all that stuff. And then it actually fades to black here. And when it comes back, the top 5 special forces of the Zandamari guys have been captured, and it looks like the rest of the gang decided to come back, or they took these guys over there. They've been captured, and there they are. Hilarious, funny, yes, but once again, it just goes to one of the biggest complaints about episode 15 was that Goku and the gang took way too long. Absolutely way too long to go ahead and defeat these guys, and this just kind of justifies it more. Like, these were the top 5 dudes of the Zandamari. This is the best that the Zandamari, the Gomah special forces had to offer, and Vegeta in base form beat these guys. I mean, he couldn't even beat these guys. These guys are so incompetent, but obviously with base form, he was able to just run roughshod over these guys, and yet all the jabronis in the episodes, because were they trying to say that because if all the jabronis in numbers were able to overwhelm these guys, but when you get the 5 top guys, it's a lot easier to like it just doesn't make sense. It just, like, there was no reason at all, especially when Goku just had to go SS1 and blast all these guys. And I know people are gonna say, oh, they were conserving energy and all that stuff, but it's like that never stopped Goku earlier. I mean, he went SS1 at one point just to break these guys off of him when he was testing himself out against King Caden's henchmen, and then he went right back to normal. So I don't see why. Not like Goku was even in that form that long. So once again, this just further justifies that last episode did not need to take nearly as long when they were able to go through the top 5 guys easily. So it is what it is, but I'm glad that this didn't take up the entire episode. And what's really cool is these guys do have loyalty. They're asking Captain, are you okay? They're not disposable. And he tells the guy that, hey, it's a stinger, it's a bit. And the guy's like, oh, he's like, I appreciate that. So I mean, good to see their loyalty. Like I said, I don't get the sense that these guys were bad guys, especially with how they offer chocolate over to Majin Kuendu in previous episodes. So yeah, it is what it is. And he's got his he says, I'll forgive you this time and stuff. He goes like that. And Piccolo's like, let's go. Let's get the heck out of here. I think the audience at this point is like, yeah, let's go. Let's move on, because we only got what, 4 or 5 episodes at this point left. We need to get this plot moving along. And so Vegeta, he starts walking up and he just blasts the door down in typical Vegeta fashion. And there you go. Hey, for those of you who are fans of the Dragon Ball dub, because this is what Vegeta wanted to do, I think this is what Vegeta wanted, or did he actually do that when it was Dr. Garo, aka Dr. Gero, after releasing 17 and 18? Imagine Trunks, Eric Vale's English voice actor going like, if Gomah gets free, it'll be the end of all of us! No! That'd be hilarious, and stuff like that. Kind of remind me of that. But anyway, they walk into the palace. Meanwhile, Son Goku, like I said, these guys aren't bad guys. He's looking at the potato chip, and Goku's like, and he's like, here you go. He said they're the best in the demon realm. And so Goku's like, thanks. And so there you go. Goku's got himself some new snacks. And we arrive into the palace where Gomah has this really goofy looking statue